trade situations in their various regions, in their various regions and countries. And for the past 8 series, we have been hosting, outstanding individuals, policymakers, trailblazers, industry experts, professionals from all over Africa who have really shed light on the economic advantages, the potentials, economic and the trading potentials in different African countries. So for this session of the webinar, we will be focusing more on East Africa communities, which are the EACs. Okay, and we know that the EACs, they are very, very, very interesting countries there. Very, very interesting countries. They are very, very interesting countries and with a lot of economic and trade potential. And for this, we were humbled to actually have the privilege of hosting some distinguished personalities who have honored this online webinar today to be able to share their professional insights on these economic possibilities, opportunities, and peculiarities in the East African communities. So I want to welcome some of our distinguished speakers, keynote speakers here today. I want to personally and welcome Mr. Charles Omusana. Mr. Charles Omusana, I hope I got that right. If I didn't, please pardon me. And I think maybe next time I'll do better. So I want to really appreciate you, sir, for honoring this invitation. We are humbled, we are privileged, and we know we're going to learn a lot from you before this webinar series is over. I also want to take the opportunity to appreciate the presence of Mr. Leonard MJ Masai. I also hope I did not butcher that. So, Mr. Leonard MJ Masai, it's a privilege and honor to have you here with us, and we are welcome. You are welcome. We are really happy to have you and share your insights with your expertise and your knowledge in the economic policies in the East African communities. And we also want to appreciate our very own partner. He's actually a partner to the African Trade Exhibition, so he's like a brother to me. Dr. Abdul Badi Eldada. I know I did not miss that, because if I miss that, I know Dr. Abdul will kill me. So he is the CEO of On Time Group, and we are happy to have you here. And of course, nonetheless, my humble self. My name is Ikechukwu Odiri. I'll be the moderator for this webinar series, and I'm the CEO of Trash Base Services Limited, a waste management technology company in Africa, and I'm also a partner to the African Trade Exhibition. So it's a privilege and honor to moderate such a webinar series with so much outstanding personalities, and I hope I will, as much as we will learn, all of us will actually learn a lot from this series. So once again, gentlemen, you are welcome. I also want to welcome and appreciate the participants who have come online to witness this program. I want to say that I appreciate all of you who have taken out your busy schedule, time from your busy schedule to actually be here and share this webinar series with us. You are welcome. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to interact. We are trying to make this webinar series as interactive as possible, so that we can all exchange ideas and learn from one another. We might be the administrators here, but we also want to learn. We're also here to learn from everybody and try to see how we can move African trade, African economy, and African economic growth, forward. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here, and we'll be kickstarting this program now. Okay. Okay. So I just want to know I'm not alone in the house. Please can speakers say hello, say a word, just a word,
Yes, we are available.
Okay.
Hello. Pleasure to be here. Hello.
Yeah. Thank you. We are glad to have you here, Mr. Charles.
Hello. Hello. Hello, we can hear you. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Leonard, is that you?
Yes.
Mr. Leonard? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Hi.
Thank you. We're glad to have you, Mr. Leonard. We're glad to have you. And Mr. Abdul, do we have you in the house?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Abdul, yes. Okay, beautiful. So without wasting much time, let's just go straight to why we're here. So as I said, Africa Trade Exhibition is an biannual event where we showcase African products and services through a digital platform. It's a technology-driven initiative, first of its kind. We are trying to make sure that all African businesses, all African SMEs, are able to actually, all African innovators to actually able to showcase their products and services to a global community from the comfort of their homes and breaking the logistic barriers that has to do with setting up physical stores in exhibition and things like that. So with our virtual booths, people can actually sit down in their homes and reach an audience of over 500,000 to 1 million people and showcase their products and services. They also have the opportunity to also dialogue with trailblazing industry experts and policymakers like Dr. Charles here, like Mr. Charles here and Mr. Masai here, So due to this kind of platforms, they can easily have access to them, So that's actually the initiative. So as I said, this webinar series is a build-up to the exhibition, to the exhibition event proper, so that we can learn, we can even know what are the prevailing circumstances in terms of economic trade policies in certain regions of Africa. And for this webinar, we are focusing on East African region. Okay, so I know it's going to be an exciting one. So I think everybody should actually get prepared, get your notes down, because we're going to be learning from the professionals themselves. So I'll be introducing a brief introduction of the first keynote speaker. Okay, so our first keynote speaker is Mr. Charles Omusana. Mr. Charles Omusana is the principal economist responsible for investment and private sector promotion at East African communities. He has over 25 years in investment promotion and engaged in development and business. He has engaged in development and business investment policies, okay, and strategies both at national and regional levels. He is a strong proponent of private sector-led development, thus establishment of a conducive climate for the private sector. He holds a master's degree in international business and economic integration and international trade policy and trade law. So as you can see that we are graced with such a personality here. We are graced with such a personality here, and we are going to learn a lot from him. I like private sector driven individual, and he's going to be telling us a lot about how they can actually. And we have okay, then we have our next keynote speaker I just want to run their profiles through them before we introduce them to start. Okay. Our next keynote speaker is Mr. Leonard Mandago John Masai. Okay. Mr. Leonard Masai has 14 years experience of working as both employed from various local and international companies, such as AD Africa, Integ Gopa International Energy Consultants, GmbH Bad Homburg, Germany, East Africa Resource Group, EH Engineering, Reliance Insurance Company, Tanzania, Limited, etc., and independent consultants. Wow. He amplified his leadership role in joining Tanzania Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture as manager of research, planning, policy, project and resource mobilization. He's also registered and certified inventor expert under National Environmental Council, NEMC, that gave him space to undertake various international and national projects on various sectors. More than 30 projects as a consultant in environment, EIA, ESEA, M&E resettlement. Okay, so it's, I mean, I can go on and on. You are just really too much, really, because for what I've seen here, the vast experience in private sector and economic growth is really so impressive. So we are honored to have here Mr. Masai, and we hope to learn a lot from your experiences and your expertise. We'll also be having with us Dr. Abdul Bade Eldada. Okay, Dr. Abdul, the Director, Partnership and Business Development at the African Trade Exhibition. You know, I said earlier that he's one of us here, he's a partner here, and he's also the CEO of On Time Group. Dr. Abdul is an experienced research and development specialist with a demonstrated history of working in the management consulting industry. Dr. Abdul is a former director of event management with the Islamic Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, ICCIA, and former TBN head of unit, International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, IFRC. Managing day-to-day operations for COVID-19 vaccination as third-party monitoring between the World Bank and the Iraqi Ministry of Health and Environment. Mr. Abdul, Dr. Abdul, we are happy to glad it's always an honor to have you in the house. It's always an honor with your vast expertise in operational management, in project management, and execution. We can never get it wrong with you. So thank you for being here today. Thank you so much. And my humble self, I will just go a brief. My name is Ikechi Godiri. I'm the CEO, Trash Base Services Limited, a waste management technology company in Africa, and I'm also a program partner to African Trade Exhibition. So I'm also a partner. Okay, so what do I say? I'm this social scientist. I've been doing this for more than 50 years. Have over 15 years project management experience. I'm also the founder of Recycle City, a green infrastructure development company. I'm also a partner to United Nations Wastewise. I'm also a partner to United Nations Habitat as UN Habitat, Wastewise Cities. And I'm also the vice president of the National Union of Scrap and Waste Workers of Nigeria. I can tell myself to be a serial entrepreneur, as I'm also a seasoned trainer, and I consult for the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria, as well as I've facilitated a lot of workshops and community arrangements for the Federal Ministry of Environment in Nigeria, the International Labour Organization by UN, and the International and Industrial Training Fund in Nigeria. So that's just a brief profile about me. So we're going to go straight to introduce the speakers to actually give us their in-depth insights of the economic situations in the respective regions. We're focusing on the East African communities. So I'll be All right. So allow me to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Charles Omusana. Mr. Charles Omusana will be speaking on insights of fostering trade, promoting investment, and enhancing integration efforts within the East African Community region. So, Mr. Charles Omusana, the floor is yours, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and good afternoon, good evening to all the listeners and participants of this webinar. It is our pleasure to be here and to make a submission on behalf of the East African community. Our presentation
Do we have a problem in the voice?
Sorry, can you hear me? Mr. Charles, I don't know if can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Charles, I don't know. Can you hear me? Because I'm finding it difficult to hear you.
Hello, Mr. Charles. Can you hear us? Can you speak?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, good, great. I think we can hear
somehow
you now.
My microphone got muted. I don't know how.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
So I was requesting that if you could put it on what? On slideshow. That is it. That's what I was saying. I was just giving an introduction that the East African community is. Let's go to the next slide. The East African community is composed of 8 partner states. That's the Republic of Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Kenya, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Republic of Kenya, the Republic of Rwanda, the Federal Republic of Somalia, the Republic of South Sudan, the Republic of Uganda, and the United Republic of Tanzania. And it has a population of close to 330 million people, and a GDP of $351 billion. Let's go to the next. Mr. Diri, the next slide. So I was saying the EAC integration is anchored on 4 pillars: the customs union, which we commenced implementing in 2005, and a common market, which we are implementing. Now EAC is the common market. We commenced implementing it in 2010. The protocol on the monetary union was signed in 2013. However, we had envisaged that by 2023, in 10 years, we'd have a fully fledged monetary union with a single currency. However, that has not been we have not been able to attain that, and it will be now projected. We project that by 2031, the EAC will be having a single currency and a fully operational monetary union. However, there are other institutions that are being put in place to support the establishment of that. And in terms of the fourth pillar, which is the political federation, we are starting with a confederation, and currently we've commenced the constitutional making consultations for making of the constitution, and a few countries have been consulted. We yet to conclude with all the other with 5 other countries. Next slide. Next slide.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe for the EAC's integration, it is anchored on a private sector driven principle. That's the core principle. We are looking at an integration that is anchored on private sector and people-centered integration. And we envisage in developing an environment that is conducive for the private sector to thrive and also create an export-oriented economy where there is free movement of persons, goods, labor, services, and capital. Next. Next. Okay. In terms of investment environment, it is anchored in the treaty, Articles 78 and 80, which demand that the EAC puts in place a conducive investment climate for the private sector in order to promote industrial development and enhance the investment potential in the region, as well as harmonizing and rationalizing investment promotion incentives and facilitating the SMEs participate in the integration process. This is also based on ensuring that there is efficient utilization of resources, especially during the production process. Next. Then in terms of the creating an enabling environment, that is anchored on Articles 127 to Articles 129 of the EAC Treaty that provide for improving I've already touched on this, improving the business environment through conducive investment codes that protect property rights for the private sector, as well as creating opportunities for entrepreneurs to participate in the integration process. There is also, the EAC has established a consultative dialogue framework where we do consultations with the private sector and civil society to bring in views from the people, because this private sector and civil society represent the people in their participation in the integration process. As many of you could be knowing, this is the second attempt for the EAC to do an integration. The first attempt in the 1960s had an issue in 1977, and it didn't succeed in proceeding because of some other reasons, because it was not anchored on people's support, which is now what we are trying to correct in this integration process now we are engaging in. Next. And I'm proud to say that the EAC has celebrated its 25 years since the resumption of the integration process. In terms of trade and cross-border investments, this is based on the Customs Union protocol, which we, as I mentioned earlier, we are implementing a Customs Union where we have common external tariffs and several other interventions that we shall look at later to promote investment as well as economic development and diversification of industries in the region. Next. So in terms of implementing the Customs Union, the protocol provided for development of the Customs Directorate, which oversees the administration of the common external tariffs, enforces the regional law. As you will see later, we have an EAC Customs Management Act, does trade facilitation, and administers rules of origin to ease trade within the region. Next. We can skip that. We've touched on that. This is on the common market protocol, which has those objectives. We can skip that and go to the next one. Yes, I did mention that our common market, we are looking at the rights of establishment and residence for East Africans, and this is enhanced and highlighted in part E of the protocol, and provides for enhanced domestic and cross-border investments, and also promotes economic development and diversification of industrialization. Again, this is similar to the provisions in the common market protocol, so we can skip this as well. We can go to the next. In terms of protection of our investments, cross-border investments, Article 29 of the Common Market Protocol provides that protection and security of cross-border investments is mandatory to partner states, and to avoid, they should also avoid discrimination against investments that originate from within the region, and provides for expropriation. However, the compensation should be prompt and based on the market value. Next. So this is just to highlight how the region is faring in terms of regional trade. I've highlighted there in red that as a region, we are trading we have a very huge trade deficit, meaning that we import more than we export, and yet the illustration would be we should be exporting more than we import. And the challenges are what are we exporting? We're exporting majorly raw materials. So that creates room for us to consider industrialization, which in most cases our politicians like to refer to as when we export raw material, we're exporting jobs and exporting value, which we need to reverse. You can also see that our intra-EAC trade is still very low. As of 2023, we're only trading amongst ourselves. We're only having 15% trade amongst ourselves. If we compare this with other regions, say for instance, 40% in the Asian region, 60% in the US, and 70% in Europe. Why can't we at least be at 40% or 50%? And indeed, we have a directive from our summit that by 2030, we should be working towards at least getting to 40% intra-EAC trade. The next slide will show us our exports, where they do go, and you see that most of our exports really go to almost throughout all the countries. But I'm also happy to say, much as we trade with Europe and China and whatever, and most of our trade now is within Africa. If you see, as of 2023, it was 9.7 billion. Within the EAC, it was 6.5 billion. With COMESA, it was 6.7 billion. And SADC, it was 6.1. We are not trading much with COMESA, but probably once the EACFTA takes root, that will improve. In terms of trade outside the EAC, you can see it is EU, China, and India, which are on top of the list in terms of our exports. But if you look at the next slide, which is our imports, that's where we need to work hard as EAC to address that. Next slide. You can see that our imports from Africa, as Africa is still a major source of imports, but you can see that the Europe and China in particular and India are huge. And yet we have all the resources or raw material necessary to produce whatever we import from capital goods and automotives. You can see even imports from UAE are high. Those are, I guess, re-exports from the UAE, some of which we can produce within. Next slide. And the statistics just show us one thing, that indeed we have the ability to consume, and we need to attract investments to come and do import substitution. In terms of trade instruments we have put in place, I did allude to having the Customs Management Act. We have the CT, where as a customs union, we have a common external tariff that we implement across the board. And indeed, we also have a single customs territory. Nowadays, it is easier to clear goods. You just clear them from one point of entry, and the documentation are transmitted through IT. We have the rules of origin in place. We have a regional trade policy. We have an act for NTBs, and also we have many mechanisms for addressing elimination of NTBs. As you will see, NTBs is still our biggest challenge, and we think it is one of the hindrances to the growth of EAC, intra-EAC trade. We have an EAC special economic zones policy. We have, in terms of trying to encourage cross-border trade and also growing SMEs, we hold an annual trade fair for SMEs, and this is rotational. We take it goes to partner states, rotates from one partner state to another. This year we shall have it in Kenya. But also in the process, we thought that instead of having an exhibition that is once a year, we are trying to come up with a bilateral platform, which will be a platform for all-year-round exhibition of products produced within the region. So this we are finalizing the development of this platform, and it will be transactional. You can purchase and pay products, for goods through the platform. We have established one-stop centers, one-stop border post centers that currently we have 13 operational. This again is helping in terms of people crossing the borders and goods crossing the borders. Instead of clearing goods from one border, then you can't clear them on the other. You just do it in the point of entry. Of course, the tripartite between the three partners, the three RECs, EAC, COMESA, and SADC, has come into force. We are now devising mechanisms for its implementation. And then the AFCFTA. And as I mentioned earlier, that we need to utilize the AFCFTA to encourage intra-EAC trade, especially given that some of these foreign markets, like the US market, given these the new tariffs, are not reliable, much more reliable than what we have for ourselves as under the FCFTA. What are the key aspects in the Customs Management Act as amended in 2019? It is a key instrument for management and administration of customs and related matters. It provides for how customs-related issues and matters are managed within the EAC as a region. And as I mentioned earlier, the Directorate of Customs at the EAC is responsible for overseeing its implementation. And again, this is a repetition of what we alluded to earlier, that the Customs Director is mandated to administer the CET, enforce the customs law within the region, administer the rules of origin, facilitate, undertake trade facilitation, as well as create interface for the customs systems within the relevant revenue authorities in the region. Next. How am I doing in case of time?
So it's okay, sir. Go on, sir.
Okay. Again, the CET, we have a 4-band CET, which has 0% for raw materials, 10% for intermediary goods, 25% for finished goods, and 35% for sensitive goods, especially those that can be produced within the region. And the single customs territory provides for interconnectivity, as I alluded to earlier, of systems of systems of the revenue authorities within the region. And it also facilitates the clearing of goods across the 2 corridors. We have 2 corridors, the northern corridor and the central corridor, so that it makes it faster. And indeed, the implementation of this single customs territory has helped to reduce the time of transportation of goods from the ports. Say, for instance, from Dar es Salaam to Rwanda and Uganda used to be like 20 to 18 days. This has been reduced to 8 and 4 days, respectively. It has also reduced the costs from $3,100 to $1,025, which has made it relatively cheaper and to do business within the region. And also, it has also reduced the number of documentations. You only declare goods once and have one single entry. Next. Okay. In terms of rules of origin, Article 14 of the protocol, Customs Union Protocol, provides the need to have rules of origin for goods that originate being subjected to duty-free entries within the region. And it also provides for transparency, accountability, and fairness, and creating a predictable and consistent environment for trade within the region. And goods are considered wholly considered originating if they are all produced within the region, but also if they have been substantially transformed within the region, incorporating raw materials from the region. Next. The trade policy ensures coherence in implementation of the common market, but also partner states trade with other third parties. It also provides for coordination mechanism to ensure resources are utilized effectively to ensure to manage external trade within the region, and also side that also benefits from external trade are distributed fairly across the region, are shared fairly across the region. It also provides for how EAC engages with third parties. As EAC, our engagement with third parties is, we do it as a regional bloc. We negotiate as a regional bloc. So that is the provisions of the EAC regional trade policy. In terms of the NTB Act, it provides for categorization of NTBs according to the WTO, but more specifically, it also requires that NTBs should be completely eliminated, and provides a framework for doing that, for both identification and elimination of or removal of NTBs. To this effect, the EAC, together with the COMESA and other, and I think SEDAC, have come up with an application for NTB reporting, and we are now also looking at making it far more easy to report NTBs as and when they occur. And this application is even available on your phones, on the phones of the business people, so they can report, and you can easily access the contact persons from the respective partner states. Next. The sales policy overall provides for the development of competitive economics, special economic zones for the region, and with specific objectives of developing a harmonized legal framework for to regulate this sales, and also provide for a common standard in terms of defining terms and easy clearance of goods, and also defines how goods produced from the sales or economic zones enter the EAC territory, and it's a tool for promotion both for domestic and foreign investments into the region. Next. In terms of investment, there are quite a number of instruments we have. You can see we have a model investment code. This is just meant for partner states to have a uniform tool for development of their investment laws. There is a model investment treaty. This is for negotiations with third parties. So if a country enters into a negotiation with third parties, this is a template that we provide. So they negotiate based on those parameters. We have an EAC industrialization policy and strategy, which runs up to 2032. And this industrial policy is looking at us increasing our exports, manufactured value-added exports. We shall look at it later. And also we have the EAC investment policy. We have a EAC Competition Act, which created the EAC Competition Authority to address issues of competition. Also, in terms of promoting investments, we conduct business and investment conferences. The EAC now has what we call one area network to improve on communication between telephone communication, that is. So the rates for communication across the country now within the EAC is standardized. You use when you roaming, you call on the local rates. There are no roaming charges. We also, in some partner states, have accepted citizens to move using identity cards, national identity cards, and that is to ease cross-border movement. And 3 countries so far encourage or are signatories to single tourist visa. And in terms of cross-border payments, the central banks are implementing the EAC payment system. And we also subscribe to the AFCFTA protocol on investment. Next. So I'm going, the next slides are just highlighting a bit of details on each of these. That's why I was interested in knowing how I'm doing in terms of time, that I could skip this. We shall share the presentations. Then this can be, the participants can look at that, read the details of this on their own. Probably, yes, you can skip this, because I know that I'm not the only person presenting, and I think I've taken over the 20 minutes. These are some of the details on those highlighted. Let me talk about summary of the investment opportunities. As you see that the EAC is well endowed with natural resources. We have so much minerals in the region. In each of the EAC partner states, we have several minerals. We have minerals ranging from copper, cobalt, gold, petroleum products, and the opportunities in terms of extracting those, but also as a region, we're encouraging value addition, so we can do smelting, refining of these products, and beneficiation of these products in general. In terms of energy and infrastructure, we have opportunities in hydropower generation, off-grid and on-grid. We also have manufacturing of solar-related equipments for both. We also have wind opportunities and thermal energy production. We also have opportunities in transport, both urban and trans-EAC from one country to another. We have regional corridors in terms of development of railways. We have, so far in the region, we have standard railway gauge developed by Tanzania and Kenya, but this is within the countries. We need now to connect other EAC partner states like South Sudan, Uganda, DRC, Rwanda, and Burundi. So there are opportunities to do that. We also have opportunities in agriculture, commercial agriculture, food processing, palm oil, and all agricultural value chains. As you know, EAC is more of an agrarian economy, so there are various agricultural products produced within this. And as a matter of fact, the EAC can be a food basket for the entire African continent. In terms of banking and insurance, there are opportunities there, even including in fintechs and microfinancing, IT and telecommunications. We have business process outsourcing, backbone development. You know, the IT infrastructure in the region is there, but it is not yet fully developed. It doesn't cover, the coverage is still limited. So there are opportunities in extending infrastructure for IT to other parts of the community. Real estate, there is housing, there is development of industrial parks, logistics hubs, commercial property, both for commercial purposes as well as for domestic. There is a lot of housing deficit in the region. So there are opportunities in real estate development. Next. In tourism, there are so many opportunities in eco-friendly resorts, vacation homes, hospitality, training and conference facilities, the MICE tour operators. This, you know, we have one of the longest coastal coastlines in Africa, because it starts from the Mediterranean all the way to southern part of Tanzania. So there are so many historical sites along that corridor, along that coastline, and ideal for tourism. There are beaches there that need to be developed. In terms of manufacturing again, as I alluded to, there's need for agro processing, the steel industry, mineral beneficiation, automotive industries, pharmaceutical industries, hardware assembly, and fertilizer development. There are so many opportunities. Being an agricultural economy, need for fertilizer is growing, increasingly becoming essential, high. In terms of SME development, there are so many areas, incubation centers, specialized in industrial parks, and for SMEs, but more special is business development centers for SMEs. We're also looking at pharmaceutical and healthcare industries. There is need for hospitals, specialized hospitals, manufacturing of vaccines and drugs, e-health, and also insurance of medical services. The blue economy, again, this goes back to what I highlighted earlier, the coastline, taking advantage of the coastline that we are enjoying. And we also have one of the Africa's largest lakes, Lake Victoria, and so many other lakes, like Tanganyika, that can be utilized for this blue economy. In terms of challenges, it's not all rosy. Of course, there is need for, we can do better in terms of availing affordable finance for the private sector to thrive. There is need to develop infrastructure, quality infrastructure to connect the region. As I highlighted that, say for instance, standard railway gauge has not fully covered the region. There's need to further that. The roads are being worked on, but I think more can be done because some of the partner states need all-weather roads to be developed. The cost of utilities is still quite high, and much as countries are generating more electricity, but the cost of transmission and energy losses is making the end user costs high. Of course, the other challenge I did allude to earlier is the NTBs. The NTBs are slowing the growth of intra-EAC trade, and we need to address that. There is also limited harmonization of national taxes. You find that, say for instance, let me take an example of VAT. The VAT rates are not uniform within the region. Some countries charge 16, while others charge 18%. So there's need to do that. Then also, much as we have a CET, we still have stages of applications and duty remissions, which affect the implementation of our common external tariffs. Then also the issue of the recently announced US tariffs that is affecting trade, especially for these economic zones, especially those who came set up here with the intention of targeting the US market. So we need to refocus and develop new strategies to help this and keep those investments in the region. Next. Again, in terms of, there's also the lack of coordination in terms of promotion of investment in the region. Investment promotion agencies are working in isolation, and yet we have a treaty requirement that we promote the region as a single investment destination. And also there's a challenge in the IPS that they are not well funded. They are challenged in terms of resources, both staff and funding for activities. As such, cross-border investment within the region is still very low. And also that we have dues in terms of research is still very low. And the regional value chains are still underdeveloped. And we believe that once we sufficiently address the issue of regional value chains, probably we shall be addressing the issue of the NTBs that result out of goods being challenged, stopped from trading within the region. The way forward we need to mobilize resources for the private sector to make it affordable and encourage investors and the private sector to borrow from the banks. But with a rate of over 20%, it is really a challenge for the private sector to do business with borrowed money. In terms of, again, infrastructure, as I mentioned earlier, there are enough initiatives to develop industrial parks, roads, and the standard railway gauge to move goods from the roads back to the railway, which is relatively cheap. We are doing a research, but we also need to develop bankable projects for promotion purposes and share that with the private sector in terms of creating joint business investments between the local, domestic, and foreign investors. And also we need to do more value addition on our raw materials. I did allude to that earlier. Next, the next slides, we can just peruse through. This information, you can get them on our website, and the investment guide is on our website. As highlighted there, you can, at the bottom corner, you'll get it for more information on how to invest in the EAC. Then the other one is, the next slide is on where the buyer seller platform is, where you can get the EAC. Next slide, the EAC traded goods.
Sorry, Mr. Charles, sorry to just interrupt you a bit. I just want to let the participants know that all this will be shared, all these documentations will be shared on our platform. So just to save time, you can just
yeah, I think this is the last slide I had.
Speed up it. Yes, so we can.
I'm saying that was the last slide. I'm done. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And thank you for your attention and audience. It's our pleasure to have made this submission. It was long, but our apologies for that. There's a lot going on. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charles. It was long, but it was very insightful. And sometimes when you are getting first-hand information like this, you don't even know that time is moving fast. A lot of key points. I was very, very particular about the investment opportunities I saw there. Mining and energy, agriculture, finance, MSc development, manufacturing. Even though I didn't see my sector, waste management, but I'm sure it will bring something to EAC, waste management. So that was a really wonderful one. We thank you so much, Mr. Charles. There are so many things I'm just learning, and I know a lot of participants were actually just discovering that so many opportunities are hidden in these East African communities. We have some questions that were coming in from our streaming audience. Though there are so much, because we have over 700 people streaming and sending a lot of questions for you, sir. But I know you have to be tasked to answer the 700 of them, but because of time. So I will just pick maybe one. And yeah, somebody asks, the person seems to have a problem with Kenya. I don't have a problem with Kenya, but the person seems to have a problem. Maybe he had a bad experience. He said, sir, if one wants to do business in East African communities, but wants to avoid the associated political risks in Kenya, in which other East African community or country their business? So, Mr. Charles, over to you. I don't know if you can just briefly, I don't know why the person has had a bad experience with Kenya, but if you can just briefly, sir, so we can go to the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Mr. Odiri. East Africa has 8 partner states, and all these other 8 partner states have immense opportunities. This all depends on which sector the prospective investor is interested in. You can come to Tanzania. For Tanzania, you can do investments across the board in all those sectors that we have highlighted. You can go to Rwanda, you can go to Uganda, and all these countries now have fully liberalized the economies, so you can bring in as much as you want, and you can take out as much as you want, as long as you've made it legally. And in terms of opportunities, again, you can visit our website. There's country-specific opportunities, but also in terms of in the guide that I highlighted in one of the slides there provides the requirements for one to invest in each of those countries, and it also provides the details of the respective investment promotion agencies. That each of these countries have investment promotion agencies. For instance, in Burundi, we have the Burundi Development Agency. In Kenya, okay, he has talked of Kenya. Kenya has a Ken Invest. We have in ANAPI in DRC, we have Rwanda Development Board. We have the Tanzania Investment Center. We also, in Tanzania, we have two. We have ZIPA, and that is Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, and you also have Uganda Investment Authority. For South Sudan, the opportunities are there, but for them, they operate under a ministry, the Ministry of Investment. So you can also always contact them for setting up there. But the requirements for one to set up there are available on the investment guide that we have on our website. I encourage the investor to come into East Africa. There are so many opportunities.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Charles. So I think our participants, I think that was a very, very elaborate and insightful one. So there's a lot of opportunities in East Africa. So even if you had a bad experience in Kenya before, it doesn't mean it will still prevail. Sure, things have changed. You can see from the charts that Mr. Charles shared with us, you can see the development that has been going on in the last 5 years in East Africa. So I'm sure even if you might have had some stringent political roadblocks that hindered you from doing your business, then maybe it's 5 years ago, but I'm sure those things have been rectified now. So I think Mr. Charles has been able to clarify and pave the way, and also enlighten us that investment is very open in these East African communities, and there are a lot of potential, a lot of untapped resources, and they're welcoming the whole world to come to East African communities to invest in both infrastructure, invest in both social amenities, and they are assuring the world that they will not be disappointed. The investment will be secured both by the government and by the private sector. So thank you so much, Mr. Charles. I'll be introducing the second keynote speaker. This is the second keynote speaker. Okay, Mr. Leonard M.J. Masai. Mr. Leonard will be speaking on potential business trade focusing on the East African community. So, Mr. Masai, good to have you here. The floor is yours. So.
Thank you, Mr. Ikochuku. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, sir. Yes,
okay.
We can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ikochuku. Thank you, Mr. Ikochuku. I'm taking this opportunity to present a simple bit. I think I shared with you 3 or 4 pages. Yes. Okay. Mr. Ikochuku, yes.
Okay. Is it okay, Mr. Masai? Is it okay? The display, is it okay for you?
Yes. Maybe you can highlight and you can increase the font size, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Dear participants and the whole panel involved on this mission, I would like to thank you all for for attending this meeting organized by ATE in Africa. And my name is Leonard Mandagu Masai. I'm coming from Tanzania Trade, TCCIA, Tanzania Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, which is located in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, East Africa. Now, let me introduce a little bit about our institutions. Yes, our institution. The TCCIA has a remarkable experience, not less than 36 years since when it was formed in 1988, and with the headquarters in Dar es Salaam, like I've said, in East Africa. And also we cover all offices in 26 regions and more than 126 districts in Tanzania. So we are all over in the country, and we recorded about the members not less than 30,000 in Tanzania. And TCCIA now, at the recent, it has the extension offices in Turkey and China, also in Dallas in the US, to provide extension services to other members there in abroad or diaspora and other investors who are coming in Tanzania. And now we have expanded the bandwidth of operations to other trade missions. What we are doing now, the prime objectives is just to facilitate trade and investment in East Africa, but through dialogue like B2B, to have advocacy on the trade in order to have a good and a conducive environment for us or for business, internal investors like domestic investors, even international investors, through attracting foreign direct investment for the opportunities that we have, not only in Tanzania, but for all the region of East African community. Because the TCCIA is a member of International Chamber of Commerce, international, but regional is a member of Pan-Africanism Chamber of Commerce and Business. And also for East African region, it's a member of East Africa Business, East Africa Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. So to that landmark that we have, it shows that the landscape market for East African in doing trade, commerce, especially in the areas of mining, tourism, forest, finance, and insurance, transportation, and logistics, as mentioned by Mr. Charles, it's very conducive. What we are doing here, it's just to facilitate enabling environment, as like I've said, through dialogue, like business, trade mission, and through creating a capacity building for the young people, especially women and the youth, to have tools or knowledge and the skills of doing business in East Africa. So we are pioneer in a private sector, I can say that, and it's true because the government trusted us in 1999 to provide the certificates of origin. The last presenter, Mr. Charles, talked about the rules of origin. So if you go to the rules of origin in doing trade or business in East African community with other trade bloc like SADC and the COMESA, and other trade like AGOA or China or India or elsewhere, for the investors in Tanzania or businessmen and the businesswomen in Tanzania who are exporting products elsewhere in the world, they have to they needed to have a certificate of origin, and that certificate of origin, the government, URT government, the United Republic of Tanzania mandated TCCIA in 1999 to provide certificates of origin. That's a very, very milestone for us, and we have been doing that for a long time. Since 1999, This one is to give us a pace of continuing advocacy on a sustainable environment for investment in the sectors like have been mentioned by Mr. Charles. Now, it's okay that in this 21st century we are moving and transforming to advanced technology like digital trade, in referring to African and free continental trade area, and the simplicity in the market informations, risk governance, and the integrated financial payment system that is upcoming for e-commerce and the digital trade. Well, the young people do prefer this mode of doing business. So we are just facilitating the environment for ensuring that the young people are becoming a pioneer in this area and doing business. And at the same time, why East Africa? Because the East Africa, like Mr. Charles highlighted, that we have in a partner state of 8 countries. So 8 countries, this is where untapped markets and the potentialities are formed in terms of all sectors, starting from manufacturing, industry, agriculture, parcel, livestock, fishing industry, highlighting in a blue economy, because the blue economy is large, starting from the coastal zone, even to the other areas of intercasting region like Kigoma, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Kivu, in DRC, Lake Turkana in Kenya, but Lake Victoria, which is across the 3 countries, the United Republic of Tanzania, Republic of Kenya, and the Uganda. So empowering the young people in doing business or entrepreneurship in this area is very imperative for us. And my institution, the TCCIA, have been pioneer in doing that. So through advocating that, I think that we are progressing to ensure that the sustainability, sustainability of economic independence of this country is going to be achieved, as like highlighted in the economic pillars of the East African community. And I can say, Mr. Chuku, that our institution have many partners in conducting these activities, daily activities, because we are just working hard. We are just working with the different participants in starting with the government itself, and starting with the other international organization and other institutions like medias, in order to ensure that our entrepreneurs, our business communities are well achieve their destiny in economic independence. So what I can conclude is that we welcome entrepreneurs, investors, and the policymakers and industry professionals to continue collaborating with us, TCCIA, for the continental sustainability and the African economy. Welcome to TCCIA Tanzania. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Masai. Thank you. You're encouraging us to come to Tanzania immediately and invest. Yeah, we're encouraging us. I like Tanzania. I like they have a lot of tourists. They have a lot of tourist attraction there, and I like their music. I like Diamond Platnumz. I think it's from Tanzania. Yes. We will. So definitely, we'll definitely like to explore opportunities in Tanzania. So we have some questions that have been coming in, because as you were talking about the policies and the measures put in place to actually ease trade and ease businesses within the region. So questions are coming in from our streaming audience. Someone is asking. Okay, let me just select one of the questions here. What steps are being taken to reduce bureaucratic hurdles to streamline investment processes in Tanzania? So, Mr. Masai, if you can just briefly, I know you said most of the things in that document you just shared, but maybe you can just elaborate more with break it down a bit for the audience.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ekachuku. we have a lot of initiatives taken down to reduce this bureaucratic and a lot of steps, not only for Tanzania, but for the East African community. At the head of state, they are all a pioneer in facilitating and mobilizing resources, at the same time provide the instrument that is very, very conducive of us to ensure that the business are going to thrive. Now, the steps in Tanzania, according to our Madam President, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, she's a pioneer in doing advocacy of conducive environment, whether in the country or not in the country or outside the country, doing a trade mission or trade facilitation. For instance, I can talk to you that recently we had a national platform or dialogue headed by the URT Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, with all stakeholders to ensure that the
Hello, Mr. Masai. I'm not hearing you. It's like maybe it's the network on your side. I've lost you. I don't know if
we can't hear him, but probably I can substantiate what he was saying.
Yes.
Okay, he's back. He's back now. Okay.
Pardon? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you, Mr. Masai.
We can hear you. We can hear you. You can
Yes.
go on.
Yes, and we have a lot of diplomatic missions that is just a kind of steps according to the institutions that we have, both the state actors institution and the private sectors institution come together in one table, sit together and see to know how these things goes on. So this is a steps, like what we are doing here. It's one of the steps that you are doing in order to have a good breakdown for conducive environment of doing business and trade in Tanzania and the East African community. Thank you.
Mr. Odiri, maybe I can substantiate what Mr. Masai has said. The other areas that I know what Tanzania has done is it has automated business registration processes, so investors can register online, but also the Tanzania Investment Center has established a one-stop center where you find all approvals are done in one location, and it is also automating the processes. So it has made it a lot more easier to register business and also start a business in Tanzania. Submit.
Oh, great insights. Great insights. So thank you so much, Mr. Charles, for chipping in and supporting. And thank you so much, Mr. Masai, for clarifying, about the measures put in place to ensure that there's smooth and seamless trading activities and business activities going on in Tanzania. So thank you so much. I just want to notify that this presentation, after the end of this, at the end of this webinar series, it will actually be uploaded to our blog on our Africa Trade Exhibition website. All information and details will be shared in this chat, both the website and the link to the blog. So our participants and the audience, and even we speakers can actually go there after the webinar series and download these experts submissions and presentations that were presented here today, so we don't miss out on anything. So I just want to thank everybody. Just want to make that clear so that people know that even if you missed anything here, you can go to the website to actually get the information that you need. I will be introducing I'll be introducing our next speaker. Okay. I'll be introducing our next speaker, which is, of course, our partner here, Dr. Abdul Bade El Dada, who is the CEO on Time Group and is an Africa Trade Exhibition partner. He'll be talking about, he'll be shedding light on a topic that is, I think, is very dear to the East African community, which is cultural tourism. So he'll be highlighting the cultural tourism opportunities within Africa and, of course, the East African community. So, Doctor, my dear friend and partner, you have the floor, sir. So, Doctor, do we have you in the house? Hello, Dr. Abdul.
Yes, sir.
Okay, glad to have you here. Please, Doctor, you have the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you going to present from your side, or you will give me the permission to do it from my side? Lamke, you will open the presentation from your side? Yeah. So thank you very much for having us today. And I think that the distinguished guests and keynote speakers today, they highlight a lot of touch things that we are working on it, and potentially when we discuss this round, we focus on the tourism sector or tourism industry in general, and we see how much it's relevant to what's the East African mainly they are working on it due to the opening on tourism sector and expanding the tourism industry in general in their area. And I think the East countries, they have a lot of potentials in that directions with the tourism when we speak about it. In the other side, when we see the importance of the tourism sector globally, we see how much it contributes to the economic growth. Like it's considered almost the fourth contributor for the economic growth. We developed a projects or initiative in Lebanon called the Chat. It's as we see, it's related to the culture, heritage, art, and tourism. And the potential behind this initiative is to make the bridge and to be represented as a hub for the participants in the tourism sectors in general. But also we need to preserve the heritage, the traditions for the countries. And here where the speakers has been raised a lot how we can support them in developing such kind of activity. First of all, it will help to improve the economy in general, beside the trading itself, because we have a say, if there is no travel, there is no trade. And this is one of the objectives of this chat initiative, is to promote these countries throughout their heritage, throughout the opportunities available within the area. And if we look for what's happening, for example, 2-3 years ago in Tanzania, in Arusha, the East Africa Tourism Exhibition, Tourism Festival, where we were presenting there from Afaso and presenting the Arusha as the destination for mountain tourism during that time. So heritage and the cultural in general as one of the main objectives to driven by focusing on the local communities to improve their capacity and to enhance their skills. By default, it will impact the SMEs in developing such kind of activity. which related to the economy, which related to the role of their presence in their community, and to ensure that those communities are still in their areas, which will help for the countries in general to be able to mobilize them or to avoid mobilizing them into the crowded cities and areas. Can we go for the next slide, please? Yeah, so the vision is to contribute in the global effort for fostering the diversity of the culture, but also to be able to preserve this culture by educating, building capacity, and engage those communities and bridging them with the international destinations. And in the other perspective, let's see how we can build the branding for such kind of area and to be as one of the destinations in the upcoming future. Next, please. Yeah, so what we do in this initiative, mainly we are focusing on 3 areas: preserving the culture and heritage, support for the arts and tourism, and see how tourism can be as preservations for the local standards, local traditions, and local behavior. Because at a certain point, as we said another way, this is our identity, or this is the identity of the country or the community itself. And when we speak about the diversity of this identity within the Africa region, which you see how much this heritage and how much this sector is rich in such kind of diversifications in terms of the heritage, in terms of the traditions, beside the sites, beside the natures, which attract the people from the global wide. Okay. So when we see this, we see it as complementary approaches, and we see how we can make kind of a chain among all these actors or all these circles, where each one could be as standalone projects and standalone objective. We can work on it, but it will be within an overall master plan for the country and for the tourism in the region. And as the East African North colleagues was discussing how we can make the matchmaking between all these countries, this is one of the goals, which will be that there is a similarity in such kind of activity. There is a similarity on reaching out, and especially if we see it from the economic perspective, if we want to attract the global people to be on board with them, we can see how we can merge collaboration between more than one country in such area. So the global participators or the global tourists will be able to join more than one country and be able to identify and visit different culture, different heritage in such kind of reason. We go to the next, please. Can you have the next slide? Can we have the next slide, please? What's the next one? This already has been discussed. Okay. So the impact we are working on it, and the impact that we want to create from such kind of initiative, is we are looking to have strategic plan at the regional level. And the second one is we want to have within this plan how we are going to promote and to preserve this sites of this kind of chat sites, let's say in general we call it, just to make the abbreviation more easy to cover all the needs. The third element is how we are going to facilitate and coordinate such kind of activity, from building the awareness, developing capacity, and the third or the fourth and most important element is how we are going to develop the policies and regulation for such kind of work. Because if there is no ownership from the countries itself, it will not be able to ensure the sustainability of such kind of projects. Go for the next. Can we have the next slide? Okay, so within this initiative and within such kind of activity, when we are going to develop it, the impact will be able to have results throughout institutionalizing and the community integration. We are going to provide professional skills for those people and for those professionals within the area that we are working on it. Plus, in indirect way, you are going to ensure the developing and the increasing of the income of the communities throughout the activities, throughout the business is going to take place. أنت تمشي؟ تمام. Go for the next one, please. The next one, please. What's wrong? So, what kind of activities we want to work on it and we want to present it? We are going to work on the craft activity, the arts activity, and the tourism in general. Plus, in order to be able to ensure this kind of activity is going to be aligned within the framework of the communities itself, we are going to have kind of curriculum, guidelines, and SOPs for those communities and for those sites. This will help us in a way or another to merge it and to align it with what the colleagues were discussed and speak about it from the tourism perspective and business angle, because at the end, within the available resources in these countries, we see that this kind of activity and this kind of projects will be one of the driven mobilizing for the economy, and it's going to increase the number of the SMEs, or what's said like the micro and the small medium enterprises, because in the other angles or in the other way, such kind of activity with such huge and rich places and nature and in these countries, it will be more easy to implement this kind of plan by fostering the collaboration within the multi-ministerial projects activity and reach out, in addition to the regional ones throughout the regional institution. And today activity, I think, or today webinars, it's one of the most, I think, heavy information and insightful discussion or presentation has been provided, and this will support in another way how the investors will be able to look into such kind of activity and opportunity within the area and the region. Plus, what has been presented throughout facilitation the works and throughout the bilateral meetings and discussions that is going to be implemented, and already ongoing activity took place for the region development. I think the tourism sector or the tourism industry in general will be able to have one of the impactful activities on your plan, and one of the contributor behind the activity you are working on it, which is going to have a very good approach when we take this in consideration. Lately, we finished one of the activity on Pakistan called Pakistan Travel Mart, where we'll be able to escalate and upgrade the level of these events to make it among the top 10 international destinations for tourism conference and exhibition. And throughout this conference, we'll be able to merge and match and bring on board the destinations from Africa, from Central Asia countries as a new destination, rather than only focusing on the normal destinations where people would like to go and visit. Now, when we discuss about the what we call the budget tourism, we see the change in the trend and the mind of the visitors, where they would like to go for more ecotourism, where would like to live the experience in the spaces they are working, and they want to go for that direction. But in the other perspective also, we are focusing how we are going to develop the safe and the secure atmosphere and environment for those people to be able to present there, because at the end it's a part of the marketing, and those people, it's very quick and very viral most people discuss about such kind of experience when they reach to this area, and this will help us to be able to identify more the sectorial issues that we need to work on it, and we need to focus on their strategy developments and goals direction, in order to be able to have a very concrete and solid foundation for such kind of projects, to have a better influencers and influence and impactful on the economy side first of all, and then on the country GDP contribution within the area. Thank you very much. Thank you for the time. I know it's quick, but I know it's too late for us to more in deep, but I'm more than happy to discuss it more and to speak and discuss about the way forward in terms of development strategy and how we can reshape, let's say, the tourism industry within the eastern part of Africa, which I love it, and I spent like almost 1 year between Tanzania and Nigeria, so it's a part of my heart in that direction. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Oh, you didn't tell me that you spent some years in my country, Nigeria. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hope you're coming back.
Oh.
Your recipes, your clothes, your artworks, your cultural heritage, and things like that. And these are things that are priceless, and these are things that have opened up a lot of people's. There are countries in the world today that derive their major GDP from just tourism activities. So why can't that be emulated here in Africa? So I was particularly very excited about the ecotourism aspect that he talked about. That's because that's where the world is moving towards now, sustainability. So, and me being a sustainability practitioner, even though I'm in the recycling and waste management field, I really have a lot of interest in such things like ecotourism, and things like that. So I want to thank Dr. Badil, Dr. Abdul, Dada. I want to thank him. It was very insightful. I think we'll talk more after this. I think I will even have to talk more after this because I'm very, very much interested. And I know a lot of participants will also be interested, so maybe they can reach out to us, go to our website, africatradeexhibition.com, and, be able to indicate their interest on different aspects of the cultural tourism that they would like to exploit. So thank you so much, Doctor. Do we have any question? Okay, I think I have some questions. Okay, Doctor, somebody is asking here that among the East African communities, which of the African countries would be most suitable? Okay, is that what it is? Most suitable? Okay, to do an ecotourism, like an ecotourism exhibition event. Which of these East African countries has the richest cultural heritage to be able to host successfully a ecotourism event or exhibition? So I don't know if you are very vast with East African
Actually,
or I'm sure Mr. Masai will jump in now and say, hey, but that question goes to Dr. Abdul.
No, actually, in the East African region, there is almost, you can see, kind of uniqueness in each country. And that's what I was speaking about, having a regional master plan for tourism, because let's take it from business perspective and economic perspective. If we want to brand these destinations, the people would like to visit these countries in general, but the cost to travel there, it's too high. So like what we did, for example, for the Far East, when we used to build the branding for Far East, Indonesia and Malaysia, we used to sell the packages on for two countries in one trip for 1 week, 10 days. So you go, you visit 3-4 sites and come back, because the ticket only by itself, it could cost almost equal to the pure tourism expenses. So that's why with the limited access in terms of flying to such kind of areas, we need to focus on these first internally for ecotourism, the second on the regional level, and this is what will create the vibes. But in the international level, where you are going to really integrate it as a business in from economic perspective, these elements, if you take, for example, now Tanzania, Kenya, Malawi, the Victoria Lake activity, for example, you will be able to understand how much it will be easy if we have one ticket. You will arrive to one of these countries, and then from there you make the tour in each one. So when you are developing this planning, you will be able to identify that in Tanzania we'll go for X, in Malawi we'll go for this, in other country you will go for this. The second thing, which is nowadays the hypes, and which also in the East Africa countries it's very important, is developing what we call, it's a part of the agritourism. So we are going there during, for example, the cashew nut season, where we'll be able to live this experience with the people by themselves. It's a part equal to the ecotourism, and it's another experience we are going to live it. But developing this, either this or that, you need to finalize the foundation for that. Like you need to finalize a basic elements in terms of infrastructures, in terms of lodging. We are not going to have a very high standardization, because people, as you say, it's budget people, we call it now. They want to have something very cheap for them, but affordable in terms of prices, but within the hygienic level, within the cleaning level. So this is, we need to keep in consideration. While when we speak and when we see the hospitality of the people in the rural area in these countries where the ecotourism is more available, you will be able to understand how much it's easy to apply this. The matter is, we need to develop SOPs related to that idea. And to be frank, it's not developing. We are customizing this and tailor it based in such kind of region. And if we take it from another perspective, yes, each country has a unique activity could be developed within that direction. This unique activity will help to ensure that the complementary approach within the region, within the union now in the East African countries we are working on it, that will help us a lot to be able to identify the role, the whole and the master plan for the area by developing a piece of projects in each country, if you want to see it as a breakdown for them. But each project by itself, it's an element. It's ecotourism here. Like you can take a safari in X, you can go for Arusha and live during the winter with the snow, with their activity. You go for Rwanda for other one. You can be in Kenya too. So it's a matter of when we see the map, we see the potentials in each. Frankly, in each country, there is a potential for such kind of activity to be able to present it. And as we discussed, either with the chat, like or direct on the on time, we are developing these projects now. Currently, we are doing this with Jordan, and we are working on close projects with Saudi Arabia about to agritourism, because they are diversifying their activities. So we are working on tourism for dates, and we are working on tourism for coffee. So can you imagine like being there because we need to diversify the activity. The people would like to see more than, because everybody now is thinking, if I'm going to pay $1,000 to be for the ticket airline, so I need to have maximum exposure for the area I'm going to visit it. I need to have as much as possible exposure for the experience, the traditions. So here our role is how we are going to match and how we are going to merge actually these traditions to preserve it from one perspective, because almost we start to lose and to be able to manage this kind of activities or this kind of traditions and habits. The second side is how we are going to upgrade the level and enhance the skills for the people they are going to host those people and to deal with them. Hope I answered the question.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want, I have one request.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just requesting that if I could get your contacts, Dr. Dad.
For pleasure, sir.
I want to put you in touch with my colleague who handles tourism, who's responsible for tourism in the EAC region. You have very good ideas that I think you could exchange with him and see how we can develop that going forward.
Wow. See, that's the Africa Trade Exhibition for you. That's the Africa Trade Exhibition for you. That's the whole idea, to connect, to explore new opportunities. So please feel free to chat with everyone and exchange contacts, please, and follow up. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. That was very elaborate. Thank you so much. So I'll just dive right into the next, because of time, dive right into the next the last presentation for the day, and that's actually my presentation. So I'll just make it very brief because we're already running. Time is not our friend. So I'll just share the slide, then we'll just make it very brief, and it will all be shared on the blog for follow-up if you really need more details on it. So I'll just share the slide now. Okay. All right. So I will be talking about waste to wealth in Africa, spotlighting Trash-based innovative approach. Trash-based is actually a waste management technology company in Africa, and we are at the forefront of sustainability, the forefront of recycling initiative and waste management, and we are trying to change the conception of waste in Africa. Africa produces a lot of waste, but where does the waste end up? Mostly in the landfills, on the streets, and it causes a lot of environmental problems. So we'll be really talking deep about it and exposing the lucrative opportunities that the waste industry can actually provide. So you can see we have transforming waste into wealth. Africa's new era, harnessing the power of recycling for a sustainable future. Okay. Unfortunately, in Africa, we have a big waste management challenge. That's the problem. Africa generates over 125 million tons of waste annually, with only around 4% being recycled and managed properly. You understand? And what does this cost? This costs a lot of environmental pollution, health risks, poor, waste management. That's why we have a lot of landfills, dump sites being piled up with waste. And unfortunately, Africa has very poor waste management infrastructure to manage the amount of waste that we generate and we produce. So that's why we always end up battling a lot of climate problems, a lot of environmental problems, a lot of water drainage problems. Because when you don't effectively manage your waste that is being created, what happens? The waste has to go somewhere, And once your waste is not biodegradable, it ends up being on the streets, like plastic waste. Plastic waste can be on the land for hundreds of years, can be in the sea for hundreds of years, And this causes a lot of environmental problems. This causes diversification problems. This causes sustainability problems, and all that. So what is now, how can we solve this problem? We want to bring a more economic solution to it by transforming this waste into wealth. Okay, by transforming this waste into wealth through recycling. Okay, the global recycling market is projected to reach $80.3 billion by 2025, presenting opportunities for job creation, economic growth, and innovation. Okay, so waste to wealth initiatives can unlock new frontiers for entrepreneurship and sustainable development. So with this kind of waste that's being generated, we have an abundance of waste, and this waste can be used as raw materials for manufacturing companies. I would like to borrow a submission from Mr. Charles, where they talked about manufacturing in the EACs. There's a lot of manufacturing going on, and most of those manufacturing facilities, I can bet you that most of them make use of raw materials, waste raw materials for their feedstock. You know, some of them make use, a lot of them make use of it, and for those that don't make use of it, we are trying to, you know, create an awareness that instead of using virgin materials to produce your products, why don't you use waste raw materials and recycle them? You save almost 80%. It's 80% cheaper to recycle than to actually use virgin materials. So these are opportunities that we wish to unlock. So I'll be sharing some waste to wealth initiatives. Okay, we have like recycling plastics into construction materials. There are already a lot of innovative young people doing so much wonderful things with waste. I know a lady who transforms waste plastic bottles into interlocking bricks for construction, and I mean it is even more durable than the cement bricks. You know, it lasts for, I think it has a lifespan of 50 to 60 years, even before it starts to even fade or anything. You know, so these are innovative approaches, you know, to what you can do with waste. Also, they're also converting organic waste into compost or biofuels. You can take organic waste these are food wastes, like when you eat banana peels, when you eat banana and throw away the peels and all those things. Those are organic wastes. Those wastes can actually be used as compost. You know, you process it and turn it into fertilizer that can be used for crops, can be used for agriculture, can be used for fish feeds, can be used for chicken feeds, you know. And we also have waste to energy. This organic waste can also be converted to power, to electricity. There are communities that are surviving off waste to energy facilities, providing light to communities. You know, so these are opportunities that we strongly believe that we can exploit. You know, also there's also repurposing electronic waste into functional art pieces. You know, there's what they call refurbishing. People take electronic parts, people even take metal parts and use it to, you know, form or create a new product, you know, and it has value, and they sell it in the markets and make a lot of money for themselves. These are things that also encourage cultural tourism, you know, because I've seen a lot of tourism events happening that people sell all these art pieces that have been made from waste materials. So these are things that we can use to actually promote tourism too, you know. Bring that to my doctor there. So and of course, upcycling of paper waste into packaging materials. People use paper waste and convert it into packaging material. So these are some initiatives that these are some initiatives.
Right.
I think we go to the next slide. Okay, so how does TrashPace is our waste management company? How is TrashPace trying to bring an innovative approach to assist in this waste management challenge? Okay, and we try to do it. So TrashPace, waste management technology company in Africa that leverages digital solutions to transform waste into wealth and solve global waste management challenges. Now, how are we doing? What are the things that we are doing in TrashPace to to transform the waste abundance that we have into an economic resource. What are we doing? For one, we have a global digital marketplace where we connect buyers and sellers, of waste recyclable materials. So, for instance, if you are a waste collector of maybe electronic waste, or you are a waste collector of metal waste, or a waste collector of plastic waste, or paper and cartons and all that, we actually connect you to through our platform, the digital platform, so it is safe. We connect you to global markets where you can actually trade those collected waste items to recycling industries all over the world, not just in Africa, but all over the world. So, for instance, you are in Tanzania, you collect plastics. You collect plastics. You have a yard. You collect your plastics, and you have tons of them, and you want to trade. You just go in our platform, and we connect you to industries in other African countries, recycling industries in other African countries, and even other parts of the world who will pay you for those raw materials. And also, if you're also a manufacturer and you're also sourcing raw materials as feedstock for your manufacturing facility, you can also come to our platform, and we'll also connect you to verified suppliers and supply you raw materials for your factory. So we're looking at this as an avenue for job creation, okay, for East African communities, because I know East Africa has a lot of waste too, and I'm sure they have waste management problems too, because almost every country in Africa, especially East Africa and West Africa, faces waste management challenges. So this is one of the ways. If everybody knows, if every young man in Tanzania, every young man in Kenya, every young man in Uganda knows that he can make a source of living of waste aggregating and collecting, I think to go a long way in providing jobs and economic growth for the young people in these communities. Okay. Also, we also offer waste processing services. We have our facilities in Nigeria, although our facilities in Nigeria, but we have other hubs, parts of Africa, where we process different waste from raw materials like plastics, aluminium, paper, and glass, and so other waste too. We do that. We also do a training program, both physical and virtual, where we train youths and waste speakers on how they can actually start a waste management recycling business. It's one of those businesses that doesn't really require much to start. I think training young people to actually have a career in this will actually help go a long way in reducing the unemployment rates we see in Africa. Okay. So also, of course, we connect waste generators to recyclers and collectors across the continent, as I just said. And because of this, we are bridging the gap between waste-rich continents in Africa and the global recycling market. So a recycling factory for instance, in Canada can need some materials, and a waste collector merchant in Tanzania can supply and make a living from it. And also a recycling facility in Tanzania can also source raw materials from all around Africa. So it's a two-way process. Yes. So what are the benefits of these waste to wealth initiatives? Okay. We have the triple bottom lines benefits of waste to wealth. Okay. We have the environmental benefits, we have the economic benefits, and the social benefits. Now, what are the environmental benefits? Okay. Environmental benefits are, of course, reducing pollution, reducing the amount of waste that gets dumped in the landfills and the dump sites. Okay. Because of our waste initiative, we can divert those wastes into resourceful products instead of dumping them on the streets, dumping them in the environment and causing environmental problems. Okay. Also, conservation of natural resources. The more we use recycled products, the more we conserve our natural resources, because we don't need to use virgin materials to produce our products anymore. So recycled products. For instance, if you have a facility that produces plastic chairs, instead of going to produce plastic raw materials from scratch, why not buy recycled plastics and use as raw materials. It will save almost 80% of production costs, and it will help preserving nature, preserving the environment, because you don't now need to go through the veggie production process. You understand? So it helps. It goes a long way in helping our environment, improving our climate change, solving climate change problems, biodiversity problems, and all-round health problems. So those are one of the environmental benefits. Secondly, the economic benefits. What are the economic benefits? Job creation. Job creation. Africa has an alarming rate of jobless young people, and the reason for this is because many of them are not exposed to this kind of opportunities. So if they're exposed to such opportunities and exposed to such markets, because it's not about just being exposed to the opportunity, they have to be exposed to the markets. They say apart from there being a gap in the market, there has to be a market in the gap. You understand? So it's to be able to make these young people to be aware that you're looking for a job, but you can create your own job. You can create your own wealth from waste that you have all around you, and you will be doing yourself a good service. Apart from doing yourself a service to humanity, you'll be also giving yourself some a good source of income. Okay, so job creation is very important. You employ people. I know somebody that started waste recycling business, a young student, waste recycling business in Nigeria. He has been doing it for 5 years now. He has over 20 staffs working for him. So you can imagine the kind of jobs he's creating. Those are direct jobs. We're not even talking about the indirect jobs, because indirect jobs are those other people that are in the value chain, of the operations. So in that, we'll be talking of maybe 50 jobs have been created. So I mean, the economic benefits are just immense. Of course, economic growth, of course, innovation, like what Traspace is doing by creating a digital marketplace. Those are innovation, and there's also space for more innovations. There are so many other young people who are also building apps today for recycling, building apps today on waste management. So it gives a lot of room to innovation. And of course, thirdly, we're talking about social benefits, improved health, improved lifestyle, improved health, improved lifestyle, and community development. So please let me go to the next slide. Okay, so I'll be talking about some success stories. These are real life success stories in the Waste to Wealth initiatives that some countries in Africa and other countries in the world have actually emulated and what they have been able to achieve. So South Africa has been able to achieve 43% recycling rate of plastic packaging waste. Okay, Rwanda has a strict waste management policies and e-waste recycling plants. So I can see our East African communities are already participating seriously in it. And Ethiopia's waste to energy plant processes 1,400 tons of waste daily. Okay, Finland is one of the countries who have achieved almost 100% zero waste by converting all wastes into reusable products. So these are things that we believe that can be emulated in a lot of African communities, and to be specific to East African countries. So what are the potentials for EAC? East Africa presents opportunities for waste to wealth initiatives. This includes growing urbanization and increased waste generation in cities like Nairobi, Kampala, and Dar es Salaam. Okay, youth entrepreneurship opportunities in waste management and recycling, community engagement and awareness campaigns, regional cooperation and knowledge sharing, innovative solutions for waste to wealth. Okay, we all know that there's a growing population in East African communities, especially in Nairobi and Kampala. These are major cities that are growing very fast, and also Tanzania. So there's a lot of waste being produced in these regions. Kept for this waste. There are industries all over the world that need this waste as raw materials. Okay, so there's a lot of potential for the EAC to be able to exploit these opportunities, either by setting up recycling facilities, within the EACs, or setting up waste recovery centers, waste recovery hubs, to encourage such activities, and also awareness. A lot of awareness has to be done about that. So I think the next slide. Rounding up. Okay, let's just round up. So a sustainable future is possible through waste to wealth initiatives. Join the movement and invest in Africa's waste to wealth potential. Okay, so we're always available to shed more light on how we can work together to create waste to wealth opportunities in East African communities. Our platform, Trash-Based Marketplace, will be launching very soon, and it will serve as a platform to facilitate international recycling trade for all East African communities to the world. So no matter the waste that you are generating in your country, there's now a platform for you to actually help manage those wastes and also make some economic benefits from it on a global scale. So not to waste much of the time, I think I'll be rounding up with that. If there's any question, I think now is the time for us to share. Thank you so much.
Can I raise something?
I think Mr. Charles is raising his hand. Mr. Charles.
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles, please go ahead, sir.
Me? Because this waste management, I just yesterday finalized the projects with especially about plastic. We are working on something since almost like 5 years nowadays, or up to now. We develop a project for electronic waste on Egypt, and we develop projects for Infinity Recycle to work on that direction, and how we are going to convert the organic waste into organic productions for animal feed, since we are facing a big problem on the seed. For the plastic and for the other material in the Infinity Recycle, we are planning to have kind of platform, but since this is present, we can work on this to bridge between the market and the recycle. And it's a part of, because I work always in the circular economy. So when we discuss about this issue, we try always to focus how we can reduce the importing of this material if we have the opportunity to develop in-house or in-country industrial projects, especially converting plastic for the minor activity to create opportunity and to reduce plastic worldwide in that direction. So I'll be more happy if you want anything to support in that direction, to contribute for this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Badi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll be talking extensively about the opportunities and how we can work together through our platform. Thank you so much for that. Is there any other questions or suggestions as we round up? We're about to round up because of time. Okay then. So I think we will be rounding up now. I just want to say big thank you to all the keynote speakers, to Mr. Charles. It was an honor having you here. It was very enlightening. It was very educational, very eye-opening to the opportunities that are in the East African communities. Also to Mr. Masai. I don't know, Mr. Masai, I hope you are still with us. You have made me want to come to Tanzania.
Yes,
but I think this time around I will come. When I come, I want you to take me to see platinum diamonds.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
So thank you so much. We're glad having you here. I also want to thank Dr. Abdul. Abdul, it's always a pleasure anytime having you bless this webinar series.
Mr. Katuku?
Thank you so much. Yes,
Mr.
do you want to? Yes, yes. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I think I need to have a contact with Mr. Charles.
Okay.
Charles.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Please feel free to share chat and share your information, please. Yes, we'll share all contacts for all participants, for all keynote speakers. We'll share it on our platform. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So want to thank Dr. Abdul, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you here. Want to also thank our technical team, and I want to thank Mr. Casey especially for always putting together this marvelous technical piece here that we are using today. Also want to thank the participants who joined us and the ones who are streaming from all over Africa and beyond. It's always a pleasure having you guys here. Without you guys, I don't think we'll be doing this. So not to waste much of your time, it's been an honor having everybody here today. Please, all information will be shared on the Africa Trade Exhibition website. The links will be shared there. So if there's anything that you have missed from here, you can go there to of course retrieve those information and study them extensively. I also want to let every party know that please, there will be more webinar series coming up. This is the 9th edition. This is the 9.0. There will be more exciting ones talking about other opportunities for African economic growth and development. So thank you all once again. I wish you all a lovely day. My name remains Ikechukwu Odiri, and have a lovely day. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on. See you.